let's talk a bit about what you need for your environment. Probably thinking like, what do you mean? Like, my environment's fine. It is, but let's talk about making it even better. So if you're giving birth in hospital, then hospital environments are probably the opposite of what's good for postpartum. What we want to think about when we're thinking about what you need for your environment in postpartum is sanctuary vibes. So if you can just bear in mind with everything, sanctuary vibes, like it should feel like your haven, your nest, somewhere really cozy and comfy that you are really happy to spend time in. Hospitals generally aren't that place with the fluoro lights and the beeping and the being woken up and all of those things. But when you get home, and this is stuff that you can think about now and sort of prep for, think about how to make your environment as calm and sanctuary-like, haven-like as possible. So I know for me, for my second baby, I didn't think about it at all for my first, but for my second baby, I was like, okay, I really want to treat myself because I wanted my postpartum to feel like a treat. And really lean into that. And one of those things was, okay, I really want to get some beautiful new linen sheets so that when I'm spending a lot of time in bed, I will really enjoy it. So I bought myself some new linen sheets. I had a home birth with my second baby. My husband put on the new sheets as soon as he was born. And all of a sudden it just felt like, this is it. You'll probably need more than one set of sheets because, there's a lot of bodily fluids going on, just FYI. But, thinking about how can I make, particularly the bedroom where you're sleeping, more like a sanctuary, because as I've talked about in terms of rest, you want to be resting for 2 weeks. You want to be in bed for 2 weeks or on the bed for 2 weeks at least. And even after those 2 weeks, you're going to be hopefully getting horizontal a lot. So thinking about what would make that bedroom feel beautiful to you. If there's like a corner of it that you look at from bed that really just pisses you off because it's, like disorganized or whatever, sort that out now. Set up something so it is in your eye line. Like when you're feeding, I'm looking at the window. I know this might sound like too into aesthetics, but it's really important to look at something that you like. I remember I was like, okay, I'm going to be looking out the window and over there is my chest of drawers and I'd really like to put a piece of art there that I can look at, and I'd love to be able to have fresh flowers that I don't have to look after, someone else sorts that out. So I remember saying to my husband, can we, during that first 6 weeks, like when you pop out with our daughter, can you like grab a bunch of flowers? And I really just love to look at fresh flowers. It's also thinking about what are the things around the house that piss you off, that really get under your skin. Like for me, having an overflowing compost bin, like one of those little benchtop compost bins, drives me crazy. I mean, bins in general, I hate like a full overflowing bin. So I remember saying to my husband, like, can you prioritize keeping the compost bin empty? Because I knew that would be something that would help me stay calm and help those oxytocin vibes flow. So whatever it is for you, the other thing was having the water filter full at all times, please, because I hate going to the water filter and there's no bloody water left. So, we all have our things, and whether, I don't know what it is for you, but just having a little think about that and communicating it to your support people. We'll be talking about support down the track, but this is something that, if you're making a list for your fridge, which you will, about the household tasks that need to kind of happen, that often happen invisibly, because probably if you're a woman, you're doing it. But you don't want to be having to think about that. So it's things like emptying out the compost caddy, refilling the water filter, taking the bins out. Those are things that are really, really easy for people who are visiting to do for you. So for friends, for family, for partners, for doulas, for, whoever. And writing it down and having it on a fridge is just a really easy way to direct people and harness their energy. Speaking of harnessing their energy, we really have to think about, when we're thinking about sanctuary vibes, who are the people who give you sanctuary vibes? Who are your people who feel like a sanctuary to you? If they feel like they are the opposite of a sanctuary, they're kind of like a spiky, tricky fortress that you can't get into, or that make you feel uncomfortable or trigger you, get under your skin, those are the people that you really don't want to have in your sanctuary. We will talk more about boundaries, but it's thinking about, right, who are the people who will make this feel more like a sanctuary, and who are the people who will take away from that? And that's how you kind of work out who you need in your spouse. I'm talking about particularly for the first 2 weeks. I know there's often no avoiding like the auntie who wants to come over and see the baby, but if you can put them off for those first 2 weeks while your hormones are stabilizing, while your bleeding is, going pretty strongly, and while you're really establishing breastfeeding, you will do yourself a really big favor. So those are some ideas about what you need for your environment. As I said, think sanctuary vibes and you will be sweet.